The sports scene in downtown Indianapolis is about to get very busy, and today it welcomes many of the top young gymnasts in the country for the 12th edition of the Nastia Liukin Cup. Moments ago, the 2008 Olympic champ spoke to the athletes.
First of all, welcome to the 12th annual Nastia Liukin Cup, and congratulations to all the gymnasts and coaches for qualifying this year. And I'm always proud of all the gymnasts and coaches, but especially this year. It's obviously been an extremely tough year for everybody, so for you all to be here speaks just incredible things about your hard work and your resilience and perseverance. So, wish more of you could be with us here, but for those back at home, enjoy the competition and wishing you all the best of luck.
NBC Sports is proud to present the 2021 Nastia Liukin Cup. The Indiana Convention Center here in downtown Indianapolis is the setting. We're ready to go. Terry Gannon along with the Olympic champs, Tim Daggert and Nastia Liukin, and it is great to be back with you guys. It's been a while.
It has been a long time. I think this competition last year, perhaps.
Yeah, just walking into the convention center and seeing all the athletes' smiling faces. Boy, I've missed this.
All right, ready. Take you out to vault and start with a 17-year-old from Marietta, California, Amari Celestine. So this Nastia Liukin Cup with the young stars. Guys, we have juniors and we have seniors. Tim, it depends what you're wearing tonight.
It sure does. If you're wearing mostly black, you still have to have some pink because it is the Nastia Cup. Mostly black means you're senior. If mostly pink means you're junior. Well, a great start to the competition. Full twisting, laid out your Chenko. So for those of you at home that have been watching a lot of gymnastics television, oftentimes it's not out of a perfect 10. It's an open-ended scoring system for the Olympics and national championships. This, however, will be out of the 10.0.
So we take you over to Beam right now and check in with Gabby Van Freyen, the 13-year-old from Lewis Center, Ohio. As we get this underway, you got to be proud. This is 12 years now of this event, Nastia.
It's like kind of surreal to me, honestly, because when I first started this competition, I remember the very first year and everyone kind of even wondering, what is this? Everybody's in pink leotards, what is it? And just to see how much it has grown and how much these athletes and coaches really, a little break there, but how much they actually plan their competition seasons now around the qualifying events to just get here. And as I think we've just said all day long, it is just so nice to be back in a competition setting. Beautiful series.
Wow.
One of my favorites.
You know, but you look at and you talk to the athletes, you read their bios, and so many of them, one of their major goals in gymnastics is to compete at the Nastia Liukin Cup.
Gabby, just 13 years of age, looking forward to an international assignment. Her dream to make it to the 2024 Olympics.
Oh, holds on to that double back. She has a lot of abilities, as you can see right there. Great stuff.
And it's tough starting on beam. You know, when the nerves are high, especially being out here on a podium. Some of these athletes have not competed on a podium, which means that all the equipment's a little bit raised. But here's that series. So back handspring, back layout, 3 skills in a row. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, and like as perfect a landing as you could possibly have.
Great technique, great form.
It's a point you make. I know they've had to qualify, and again, goes back to them dreaming maybe of making it to the Nastia Liukin Cup. As you look at the number 9.4 on vault for Amari Celestine, but even those events, this is a high-level event now. You're on TV. This is a different level, and it's been a while.
It's been a while. You know, they have competed probably a little bit more than, say, some of the other athletes that are going to be here competing at the Winter Cup later this weekend, but they've been out of training. You know, I talked to them earlier this morning, and it was just, they have never taken this many days, weeks, some of them months off in their whole career.
Nor have we.
Or have we,
It's
exactly.
been a while. Uneven bars now, Lexi Zeiss, the 15-year-old from Omaha.
Nice transition from high to low, called a pack salto. Gotta hit those handstands. Beautiful release from low to high.
Great.
Great.
Tim, I was waiting for it. Too early in the show?
Yeah, a little bit. She actually clipped her feet on the bar in preparation for that double back somersault. Be a small deduction for that, but otherwise, really good stuff.
Lexi, who played competitive soccer growing up. Check the number for Gabby Van Fran from Balance Beam 9425 as we get a busy weekend underway here in Indianapolis.
Up next on even bars for Empire will be Kylie Cohen, followed by Wilkins, Sloan Blakely.
12th edition of the Nastia Liukin Cup underway here in Indianapolis. Lexi Zeiss uneven bars mark of 9.525. The number. Just starting off a big weekend here, the Winter Cup with the men later on, and tomorrow the women take you out to the floor, and Alex Theodoro, the 18-year-old from Phoenix, ready to go.
Trains at Desert Lights Gymnastics, the same gym where Olympic hopeful Michaela Skinner also trains.
Senior in high school, headed to Arizona State.
Now on floor exercise for Desert Lights, Alex Theodoro.
Really great routine. very difficult opening pass.
Full twisting double back somersault, another double back in that routine. A lot of great gymnastics.
Senior at Chaparral High School out in the Phoenix area, Alex Theodoro. Get her number in just a moment.
See them grab their masks right after they finish their routines.
Full twisting double somersault, 2 flips with a full twist on the first rotation. Very nicely done.
You got this, Chloe.
So on the background, we do have some people here, just the parents.
Yes.
That's it, and the cardboard cutouts.
Cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, that's it.
Few parents, and you know, but as I was saying earlier, I was talking to some of the athletes this morning, and pretty much I think everyone was on the same page. It's obviously a very weird, you know, situation to have to grab your mask right after a floor routine. And for those of you that haven't done a floor routine, it's a lot of endurance work there. You're breathing, you know, trying to catch your breath after that. So putting a mask on isn't easy, but to just be able to be here, you know, this weekend during all of this and safely compete, it's nice for everybody.
Athlete after athlete having expressed that this way, they just feel lucky to be here competing. As do we watching. Over to bars and the 18-year-old from Frisco, Texas, Sloan Blakely.
Very accomplished gymnast. A lot of power. Oh boy, and that's very unfortunate. Just was a little bit too close and over-rotated on that release from high to low.
Gorgeous handstands, something we'll be talking about all day, really trying to hit each one. Wow.
That's disappointing. Sloan is here, and she'll actually tomorrow get to watch her little sister compete in the Winter Cup for the women.
Yeah, we'll see Sky this weekend. Theodoro 9.675, the number on floor.
And you know, it's important to note, we're going to have the Winter Cup tomorrow for the women, but all of these athletes, I mean, you go to a World Championships and Olympic Games, many of the athletes that are on the floor today that are going off to college next year or in 2 years, they're at that same level. That's how good Team USA is and how deep they are.
From Fleming Island, Florida, the 18-year-old Lily Hudson about to go with her second vault. A moment ago, check this out, guys.
Great. Beautiful vault.
Wow.
Great technique. Beautiful form.
Yeah.
That's a little low.
Wow.
You know what? I don't agree, judges.
First disagreement of the night. Mark that down. Fleming Island High School product going to the University of Alabama.
I mean, how about you, Tim? Don't you think that was a little low?
I do, absolutely. You know, every gymnastics competition, the judging panels are a little bit different. Now, if they are being that strict, hopefully they'll be that way throughout the entire competition. That would be important, but even if they're being strict, I thought that was too low.
Head over to floor, 15-year-old from Texas, Morgan Price, who was one of those when asked, what are your goals? Said to receive a college scholarship and also to qualify for the Liukin Cup.
That's
There
pretty
she
cool,
is.
right?
There you go.
Nastia?
It
Yeah?
doesn't feel real. You
Yeah.
know, it's very cool. Just didn't quite have enough power right at the end. It was almost like she was going for the stick, too.
Yeah, no, it looked great in the air, and I thought she was gonna stick it, but that's what happens when you have those forward-facing landings. If you are just a little bit under-rotated, it is so easy for that to happen. That's a shame, because it was great up till there.
Trains at Texas Dreams Gymnastics in Texas, going to Copper High School, but just 15 years of age. Morgan Price, uneven bars number 9.2 for Sloan Blakely. I'm sure these two will disagree when we come back. Many of the best young gymnasts in America competing here in Indianapolis. That number on the floor, 9.125 for Morgan Price.
Just that one mistake at the end. The difference between elite gymnastics like the Olympics and this right here, scoring out of a 10, a fall is only 0.5 of a point off. Here at the Olympics or national championships, a full point off.
But 0.5 or a point, you know, when you have a competition field like this, where they really are the absolute best of the best in the level 10 division, it's gonna be tough to make it on that podium with the fall, because those all-around qualifying scores were just so neck and neck.
First of two vaults here for the 17-year-old from Spring, Texas, Leah Smith.
And Nastia, you just said the best of the best. Guess who she trains with? Not just the best, but the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Simone Biles. Same club and same coach. What an experience that has to be every day.
And now on more exercise for gymnastics.
Beautiful.
A lot of flight on that.
Definitely capable of adding at least another full twist to that.
I bet she can. And there, of course, was Laurent Landy, the partnership, along with Cecile Landy, who coached the great Simone Biles, and a lot of other gymnasts, too.
What do you think that must be like every day going to the gym and there's Simone Biles?
I mean, it's got to be pretty inspiring, you know, those days that you walk into the gym, and no matter who you are, I mean, Simone, I'm sure, even has these days, but when you walk in and you need a little extra motivation, or you're sore, you're tired, whatever it is, and then you see, of course, her right in front of you, training as hard as she's training, doing the most insane skills. How can you not be inspired by that?
At some point, you have to feel like, hey, there's no excuses here. You look over and see the greatest of all time.
Exactly.
I would say sometimes intimidated as well.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Second one.
Just got to fix that landing a little bit, try to be patient, little bit better.
The slide back. It's what you always try to do. Try to trick the judges into thinking that maybe perhaps it was a stick. But take a look at her hips right here, completely open, stretched out, and even almost flares her arms out, which is just beautiful. So you see her twisting, of course, and right there, opens her arms, tries to go for that stick.
And many of these gymnasts can do more than that, like she could add an extra half or probably even a full twist, but that starts at a 10.0, so she doesn't need to.
Finishing up her final year at Texas Connections Academy and heading to the University of Washington, where she said more than anything, she wants to win a national title there. 9.7 on that one.
Okay, judges.
Yep, a little bit better than the first one, but still not a perfect landing.
Over to balance beam, and the 14-year-old from Boca Raton, Florida, Nina Ballou, in 8th grade. 8th grade.
Yep.
You know, we had our brunch this morning with the girls. Obviously, it was a little bit different than any other year with all of our COVID protocols, but got to talk to them, and they asked some questions, and a few of the questions were about nerves, the mental state, how I handled that, and it was really cool being able to share some of, you know, what worked for me, I guess, but that's what a lot of them were a little worried about. Those extra nerves under the bright lights, especially on an event like this.
Big test right here. 3 in a row, and she holds on.
Gymnastics on vault.
Yeah, this is a very different experience for almost all of them.
Next on vault for ascent, building an NBCSN.
Arena-type lighting, television here, and as you mentioned a little earlier, Nastia, it's on what's called a podium. And so what that does is it makes all of the equipment have a little bit more give than it does at the gym at home.
Fist pump at the end. Excited about that effort. Wants to qualify for the JO national team or an NCAA scholarship. Those are the goals. Still very young, just 14 years old.
And here's that same combination we saw earlier. Back handspring, 2 back layouts. Almost like she just was going so fast.
Yeah.
Just do a slow down button, just a little bit.
What's your overriding message when they ask? I'll give you a minute to think about that.
It's not that I need to think about it, but I don't think I could tell you in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
A lot of visualizing, at least for me. You know, it was a lot of just putting your mind and yourself back in a position, in a place where you are comfortable, right? So your home gym, that beam where you train every day, where you can do that beam routine in your sleep. All of a sudden you get here under the bright lights on the podium, and the beam feels like it's not 4 inches wide, but maybe it's 3 inches wide, just because there's those extra nerves.
At least tricking your mind into thinking you've been there before.
Absolutely.
Mackenzie Estep, another 14-year-old, getting set over here on vault.
Another very nice vault. We'll see a lot of those today. Full twisting laid out Yurchenko. So they get to do 2 different vaults, and she's going to really try to focus on zoning in on that landing, that little slide. She can try to eliminate it.
So again, so much that the judges are looking for, but from that angle, you see those lines too. She lands right down the middle. Her hips were open. Chest up on the landing.
Let's go, G, come on!
You know, I like that one better. I liked it better. I think she got to the table a little quicker. Her hands went back faster, and that enabled her to get a bigger bounce off the table. So watch, she'll turn around on the board and then wham, slam those arms back, gives her a little bit more height. Gonna be interesting to see though. I thought it was a better vault, but
the landing,
exactly.
not quite as good as the last one.
So she had a 9.5 on the first one, right? So.
Born in Tacoma, trains in Auburn, Washington, and vault is her favorite event. Nita Ballou, 9.5 for that effort over on beam, which she was really excited about when she left the area. You know, the other aspect, not to make us the story, but the fact that they're on TV, I mean, that adds to that whole anxiety.
Absolutely. The pressure of having these cameras in your face, and especially when the judges aren't quite ready for you. Nerves are already there, then you see all the cameras.
Danielle Ferris, the 15-year-old from Florida, ready now.
Oh, wow.
Really nice. So this one, she adds a half twist to what we've seen, 1.5 twist, and in the JO program, or the Junior Development Program, it's actually valued at a 10.1. So she could conceivably, even with that step, close in on that number. The way the judges have been today, though, I would say not.
Over to beam, and Madeline Williams, the 18-year-old from California, just about ready.
She was a junior national champion in 2019 in the all-around. Very cool thing to be able to say. The best in the United States in her age and classification.
Danielle Ferris of L'Oreal Elite on vault.
Really has a sense of calmness and confidence throughout this routine so far.
A lot of these leaps that begin from a side standing position, really tricky. But they are very valuable. They give you some extra points, so they are popular.
The dismount right here. And a really great routine. Those few mistakes, slight mistakes, but of course, you see here, they have, not only do they have masks, they have bags.
They have bags for their masks.
They have it all.
Yes, and they're all sparkly.
They have people for their masks.
They have people.
You know, Nastia, you said she looks so calm, and right as you said that, it was exactly what I was thinking. That is like veteran stuff right there.
You know, and it's not just, and here's that dismount, so what we call blind landing. Really hard to stick that landing no matter what level of difficulty skill that you're doing, but Tim, you're exactly right. You know, it's as if she was walking and doing all of her skills as if she was on the floor, really, and that's tough to teach. It comes with experience, it comes with a lot of things.
You're right, it is tough to teach though. Some people just really always will struggle with that, and some are a little more natural.
So 9.5 on balance beam for Madeline Williams, the 18-year-old from Buckingham Charter Magnet High School in the Bay Area of California, as we continue from Indianapolis. Back to tell you, get ready, something is about to make contact. The world will be watching television's next big event. Debris arrives Monday on NBC. Action continues in Indianapolis. The opening rotation in the books. That's how we stand, as always. Extremely close under this system. Nikki Smith, the 16-year-old from Michigan, started on vault. She's got the lead as we look ahead to the second rotation here in the 2021 Nastia Liukin Cup. Back in the state capital of Indiana, about 2 million people in the metro area here in Indianapolis, and the action inside the convention center for the Nastia Liukin Cup. Second rotation underway. In third, after that opening rotation, Alex Theodoro, the 18-year-old from Phoenix, Arizona.
And that's a really good position to be in. Most of the high scores are going to come in on vault, and she actually got a big number, a 9.675 on the floor exercise. So
Nikki Smith, who has the lead right now, did start on vault. 9.775, the number there that leads. There you go.
You know, these standings are just going to go back and forth all the way up till the very last event, the last routine. Normally, especially the last few years, it has just come down to literally the last landing of the competition. It's been so exciting.
Absolutely.
And again, we've got seniors competing and juniors competing here.
The competitors competing the first half of rotation 1. And now begin their competition. Starting off on ball for Desert Lights, Alex Theodoro, followed by coastal gymnast Chloe Lacourcier. On even bars for Olympus, Nate Burnett, followed by L'Oreal Elite's Lily Hudson. Starting off on balance beam for World Class Virginia, Azarea Rahbar. And starting off on floor for perfect balance.
This might be the absolute worst.
Now, I was going to say, you're just thinking, all right, hurry up.
Yeah, no matter what event you're on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really interesting vault. That's the only one we'll see like that here today. Looking Very complicated. There are a lot of half turns happening. Watch, she does a half turn onto the board. She'll dive back, but add a half turn again. Front flip, another half turn, try to spot the ground, and she just scoots her feet a little bit too far underneath her. Love seeing the variety, though.
Right back for the second one now.
So something's telling me she's really going to go for the stick here.
She's got a good one under her belt already.
Love that close-up in the eyes.
Yeah.
Focus.
The thing that's really good about this type of a vault is if you do it properly and you've learned it in the right way, you are actually able to spot the ground much earlier and zone in exactly where to put your feet.
Just not quite as good on the horse that first half of the vault. You know, sometimes when you really are going for the stick, you get a little too ahead of yourself, you get in your head.
Yeah, she's a little high onto the table. So she barely, kind of just taps the vaulting table as opposed to like exploding off of it. So she didn't get the same rise, the same height, had to kind of rush a little bit, but
again, had a great first vault.
Absolutely.
So thinking she's gonna take that first score.
Saw that number right before she went, 9.625 for the opening vault. Over to Lily Hudson in 10th after the first rotation. Just about ready on bars.
Nice handstand right there. Wow. That was really nice. And that looks a lot like an outstanding NCAA routine right there.
In pretty much every single skill back to back. Didn't even have a chance to, you know, sometimes that is the hardest thing about this event when you have to connect every skill after another. You cannot even be the slightest bit off. And that was just a great example.
Look confident, didn't it? Right to the very end. Check the number 9.625, the second vault score for Alex Theodoro as we continue from Indianapolis. So the number on even bars, 9.675 for Lily Hudson. Won the all-around state championship in Florida back in 2018. Over to beam, and in 14th after that opening rotation, Sloan Blakely, who won the gold on beam back at the American Classic in 2019.
And certainly looking to get herself back on track. Has the ability, without question.
As we talked about earlier, it's just one of the hardest competitions to qualify to. She really, really wanted to qualify, as you mentioned, Tim. Her sister's competing here this weekend as well. Just missed out at the Wolga Classic. And then one of the very last qualifying events secured her spot.
Oh, beautiful, yeah. So for those that maybe aren't as in the know, there are all of these invitationals that are held throughout the country, and you qualify there by obviously winning.
Yep, top junior, top senior.
Oh, big dismount. Round off, double back, bam.
There you go.
Gotta love that. Gymnastics 101. Terry, Nastia.
I've been waiting for it all day.
Fly high and stick the landing.
We are 51 minutes into the show when we get our first one.
But it's been a year, Terry. We've missed it.
I know. How many times have you heard that in your head since last March? Leah Smith in second after the opening rotation to the uneven bars. It was the American Cup. It was Milwaukee the last time we were together. Can you believe that?
Yeah. I love what she said in her bio. She says, I love gymnastics, has taught me to be dedicated, hardworking, disciplined, and a fierce competitor. Very cool.
Wow. That was great. Really hit those handstands. Again, it's the same thing, obviously, but the judges are going to be so nitpicky when it comes down to just sometimes 1/100th of a tenth at the very end. The handstands, the slight steps, the slight hops. Can't afford to have those.
So that effort on beam for Sloan Blakely short time ago, bringing 9.575. And we go back to beam. Amber Lowe in 18th place after the opening rotation, the 15-year-old from Kennesaw, Georgia. And this is her favorite event.
I always wonder about that. Nastia, what about you?
I was going to say I liked beam.
You did?
Yeah. And bars.
Yes.
Vault, not so much. But as we kind of talked about earlier, Tim, you know, it's hard to teach that, right? The confidence, the love for this event. It's kind of a love-hate relationship.
Two layouts in a row. Great job. She has an interesting story about how she got involved. She said a mom witnessed her during a physical abilities testing, reached out to the other mom, said she had special talents, put her in gymnastics.
And during PE class, normally it's your own parent or somebody in your family say, hey, you got too much energy. We're going to put you in gymnastics, but it was someone else.
Yep.
Once again, really just trying to go for that landing. Was trying to spot the ground. Had to take the step. Air high fives.
Really nice sequence. 3 elements in a row, all acrobatic. Back handspring step out. Then she'll do 2 saltos in the air, landing 1 foot at a time. Very nicely done.
And here's that dismount. So double twist, little leg separation at the end, and you see her trying to eye the ground, just wasn't quite able to get that stuck landing, but great routine. You really just have to, no matter how much you love this event, you have to take a deep breath after you get through it at a competition.
Second time, made it to the Nastia Liukin Cup back in 2019 when this was held in Greensboro. Leah Smith, 9.85 on the uneven bars.
And that is a huge number.
Yeah.
Big time.
Going to take the lead.
Coming up next on balance beam,
A couple more rotations left for her, though. And there's the number for Lowe, 9.55. So from beam over to floor. Next athlete set, Nina Balut, 14-year-old. Started on beam. All right, I take it back. Those announcements when you're standing there saying, hurry up, the silence might be worse.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
This is the moment that when you're trying to get out of your head, that's the only thing you can do, right? You're listening to your thoughts, your nerves.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Doubts creep in. Wow.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Some great landings.
Great landings, great energy, the enthusiasm. I just love it.
Second rotation continues right now. It's Leah Smith after that great effort on bars with the lead, as many of the young stars from the world of gymnastics are here in Indianapolis competing through the weekend.
Hello, my American Sisters family. I love you all very, very much. Mwah. Oh my God, yeah, and my actual family. That too.
Back with the number for Nina Ballou on floor 9.675. And guys, there are some smiles that are performance smiles and other smiles that are absolutely genuine.
And you get the real deal right here.
That's a real smile.
Yes. Whoa.
Hi.
Love to see. Love to see it. They love doing this sport. It's great to see.
So a solid number on floor as we continue here with the second rotation in the Nastia Liukin Cup, 12th edition, 12 years, dozen years.
And I've yet to be invited to the banquet, to the brunch.
Well, I haven't either, but I've only been with you guys for a couple of seasons, so I would be very offended if I were
I'm
you.
really just trying to think of something else to tell to him because he tells me this every year, and I think you just kind of have to give up on getting that invite.
You had to limit participants this year, so you have an
Exactly,
excuse.
That's right.
Exactly.
Social distancing.
Lauren Harkins getting set in vault. So again, from one 14-year-old to another 14-year-old.
On ball for J-Pack, Lauren Harkins, followed by active athletics gymnast C.J. Kennedy. Up on uneven bars for Ascend, Mackenzie Eastep, followed by Florida Elites, Danielle Ferris. Up first on balance beam for win-win will be Ruth Whaley. And now on floor exercise for Metroplex, Camila Kaplan.
I want the fans here, but I kind of like hearing the coaches yell.
Yeah.
You know, the coaches have, I feel like, been a little bit louder, more energy because of that, trying to help their athletes out. A good vault, a little bit of a pike down on that landing, didn't quite get the amplitude off of the horse.
From Michigan, but trains in Indiana. Another look at that effort.
So once again, the same vault that we have seen so many times, but see that landing, her hips, so at the very end, after she completes her twist, so right here, stretch back, And right about here, tough to tell from that angle, but really quite a pike down with her hips, her chest low on the landing.
So she can improve on this vault a lot. She needs a better rebound off the table, some more height, and then confidence in those body shapes or positions. Pretty much the same thing, though. Actually trains at one of the Mag 7's gold medalists from 1996, Jim J.C. Phelps. So really almost a carbon copy, just a little high onto the table, and she has to bend in her hips, create an angle, and the judges, they are zoning in on that. Still a nice vault. She can just do it better.
You know, but I think a lot from this competition, that's kind of what I tried to tell them this morning, is the experience, right? And for somebody like her on this vault, Tim, you say she can of course do better. And it's really trying to gain that experience and learn maybe how to be patient, you know, how to handle your nerves. And so in a competition like this, you've already qualified. There's nowhere else after this competition to go. Obviously they have their level 10 season after this, but hopefully she can take what she learned here and apply that to her season and in the rest of her career as well.
So the score for the second vault, 9-1-7-5. Talk about visualization, that's important, but now you've got the experience. You've been here, and you get some feedback too, and learn from what you can do better, or about what you can do better. Madeline Dorman, 14-year-old, who was born in Little Rock and trains in Lilburn, Georgia.
Well, you got to remember, all of these athletes are chasing something that's almost unattainable, perfection. But that was pretty close to it right there.
He's most likely trying to connect those two leaps. He was a little off on that first one. Oh, golly.
And that's a shame. Half a point deduction when you come off the beam or any apparatus. She says that competing is her favorite part of the sport. Was it for you, Nastia? It wasn't for me.
You know,
Wow.
Big dismount, still needs to control that landing a little bit. But you know, Tim, I have to say, her future is so bright. I mean, she has already such a high level of difficulty. The skills that she's performing, again, just needs to gain a little confidence, a little more experience.
Wait, you enjoyed training better than competing?
I was just about to say, you know, I obviously love the sport in general, but
I just loved. For me, it was trying to be better every single day. I liked competing a lot, but I liked the quest.
Oh, I lived for competitions.
Mari Celestine getting set on bars. No matter the sport, practice is often a grind.
I'm with you, Terry.
It's true. Very nice. Release combination from low to high. Oh, great landing. Great fight for that, too. Love to see that. That release that I spoke of, you know, a handful of years ago, that was a very rare thing to see. And now it is very popular.
And even on the elite level, Tim.
Absolutely.
You know, not even at this competition. Okay, so here's that first. Oh, sorry, actually the second one that she did.
Check the dismount out, though. Very unusual in today's world.
Second trip to the Nastia Liukin Cup. She was 9th in the all-around as a junior back in 2018, the Chicago area that year.
You got it, Nikki.
8.85, disappointing number on beam for Madeline Dorbin. I think that's a smile, though.
Yeah, it looks like it, right? You can see it in the eyes.
Yeah. I've been joking about that all week. You know,
Yeah.
just I promise I'm smiling under here.
Exactly.
That's been one of the hardest things for me, is not being able to see people
Yeah.
and their reaction.
You can
And you're about a mile and a half from me right now. We're so socially distanced here.
Yes, we are. We're doing our part.
Plexiglass in the arena.
All right, Nikki.
But you know what?
got it.
It feels good to be back at a live gymnastics event, I have to tell you.
Absolutely. All right, Nikki Smith, 16 years of age, from West Bloomfield, Michigan. Heading to Michigan State, and her sister, gymnast there.
Release right here. Beautiful transition. Love that.
Come on, Nick.
A little bit of form a couple of times in the routine, but another great dismount, great landing.
You know, and once again, I think in talking about the form, sometimes when you're able to become a little bit more confident on the skills, the routine itself, that's when you can kind of focus on the form a little bit more. There's so much to think about going into a bar routine. You know, as I mentioned, every skill is back to back. It really is, it's a lot that's going on in your mind.
Would you run through your entire routine right before?
Absolutely, multiple times.
Yeah, many, many times, yes.
Got so quiet.
So nice release in this. A straddled front flip. It's called a Jaeger on both the uneven bars and men's high bar. Watch right here. She'll lift her heels up. Nice height in the air. Just a little bit of form. Feet sometimes not as great as it could be, but look at that. Gorgeous. High bar to low bar.
But you know, it also becomes what I like to say muscle memory, right? So if you can kind of start practicing that a little bit maybe more in training, focusing on it in training, because in the competition, you have everything going on in your mind times 10. Yeah. The nerves, the judges, the pressure, all of it.
If you're in your head the whole time, you're in trouble, correct?
The last thing you're thinking about is probably pointing your toes, keeping your knees straight, all of that. So
Yeah, it needs to be automatic.
It needs to be automatic. It needs to be that muscle memory.
So here's Tori Vetter, the 17-year-old from Ohio, who not only knows what it's like to compete at the Nastia Liukin Cup, but to win it. She did it as a junior, the all-around in 2018.
You know, it's hard to make the competition once, but to be able to be a qualifier multiple times, different experience, obviously, this year, and talked a lot about that with the girls, but hopefully they enjoy the experience as opposed to not having this competition at all.
So the teenager from Columbus, Ohio, Tori Vetter, effort on floor complete, as is the second rotation. Leah Smith in the lead after 2 rotations. 2 more to go here in Indy. Back to remind you, beginning July 2021, the Olympic Games return live from Tokyo on NBC. We'll be headed there along with the top athletes from around the globe. 2 rotations in right now here in the Nastia Liukin Cup in Indianapolis. Leah Smith, who was excellent on uneven bars, in the lead, about a quarter of a point. Tori Vetter, by the way, 9.675 on floor, so she shares 5th place at the moment as we continue. The first of 3 events this weekend here in Indianapolis continues. Terry Gannon, Nastia Liukin, and Tim Daggett. The 12th edition of the Nastia Liukin Cup. Some of the top young stars from across the country. 2 rotations in, 2 more left to go. Take you over to the beam right now here in the 17-year-old from New Hartford, New York, Miranda Smith. Just about set to go. Junior in high school, New Hartford Senior High, and heading to West Virginia. 8th place after the 2nd rotation.
I always find it really interesting, the coach-athlete interaction right before beam. Some athletes like to be talked to a lot. Some, you know, just want to be in their own zone.
Yeah, and probably not even just on beam, right? Every single athlete has such a different way of mentally preparing for that event. Tim, what did you prefer?
Really not a lot of talk. Yeah. I think some coaches, though, look at it as a way to distract the nerves.
Sometimes perhaps the coaches also need,
Yes,
need that
exactly.
as well. They're just as nervous.
Oh, wow. Oh, golly. Risk and reward. She does the harder combination tumbling pass on beam and suffers the fall. That's too bad. More difficult when you rebound off of 2 legs on the beam and land 2 legs at a time.
Wow. Difficult routine here. Standing switch.
That's, yeah.
You know, this is something that I really love to see, even though she had, of course, that big mistake, fall at the beginning, double twist dismount, but just bringing out very unique skills.
And what do you think her coach is saying right now?
She's saying it's okay, you know?
She knows. The athlete always knows, right?
You got to the Nastia Liukin Cup, and so we're already in win territory. We'll get it next time. Very difficult to rebound off of 2 feet. Right here, she punches the beam. Not quite enough height, maybe, enough rotation.
Just a little under-rotated. But here's that 2 standing layout. So we have seen this combination with an added back handspring at the beginning, which really helps you gain that momentum and speed. A lot more difficult standing. That double twist dismount, step on the landing. But Tim, you know, you talk about the risk reward, and I loved what we just saw. Of course, again, had that mistake, but she took the risk.
Yes, she did.
Here's the other thing. We talk about Simone Biles and her. I mean, she's influenced every young athlete here. 8.6, the number for Miranda Smith. But also the mindset, coming back and continually trying new things and harder things and taking it to a new level.
Well, you know, and someone like Simone, of course, she's essentially competing against herself, and that's what she is constantly saying. She just wants to continue challenging herself, keep getting better.
I like to say she is making the impossible possible, because before she did it, many of the things she's done, people thought would never be seen.
And she's not done yet.
No. Many people have seen the clips of Simone doing a vault that's never been done before, the double pike somersault. Unbelievable. Nice double pike right there. I'll tell you, if Simone does that vault in Tokyo, I think she can fall on it and she could still be the Olympic champion. If they value it the way they should.
That's amazing. That's an amazing statement.
Which, to that point, will they?
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate that they haven't quite done that with all of the elements that she's put out there. But again, it's obviously you want to be rewarded. But I think for somebody like her, it really is about just challenging yourself, right? Seeing if you can do it, and that's kind of what she has said, going out there, doing that double twisting, double back, dismount off the balance beam.
Yep.
Speaking of dismounts, right here, double pike, look where her chest is. Great position, just a little over-rotated, step back.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's legit, right there. Having a great day.
Once again, getting beam over with. Huge sigh of relief for a lot of the athletes.
Every time someone gets done on beam, you take a sigh of relief over here
I
watching.
do, because I'm nervous for them.
Yeah. 9475 the number. Jocelyn Moore now in 13th after a couple of rotations. 17-year-old from Hillsborough, New Jersey, heading to the University of Missouri.
You know, sometimes it still can't quite get used to being on the other side, how it's a lot more nerve-wracking when you're not in control. You don't know what's going on in the athlete's mind, Tim. I'm sure that's how you felt as a parent, as a coach.
Well, as a parent, it's got to be 10 times worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
Can't even imagine that.
All the parents that do coach their sons or daughters in this sport, they commiserate with one another constantly. Your dad always looked cool as a cucumber, though.
Oh, not on the inside.
No, I'm sure. Awesome. Great. Huge power, double laid out somersault. That would play well at the largest international events in gymnastics. Beautiful. Very nice. I tell you, Nastia, I don't know if you've noticed this too, but both this group and the Winter Cup group, I've seen a lot of very imaginative choreography. It's like everybody's been kind of stuck at home and, you know, TikTok video dancing.
Tim, are you on TikTok?
No, not at all, but it's, I've really found it very interesting, but this is grade A stuff right here. Double laid out salto, unbelievable body position, and fabulous.
Yeah, just absolutely gorgeous. The whole entire routine, the power, the confidence, and here's another pass. So a front tuck into a double back, just picture, yeah, and picture perfect landing, chest up.
This should get a very good number.
Might be one of the highest scores, perhaps, that we have seen.
By the way, I think Tim might have an alias on TikTok. We're gonna have to look this up.
Trust me. Next commercial break, we got to figure this out.
9675 for Moore on floor.
You know, I would have gone a little higher.
I agree.
All right, second disagreement of the night. While that was taking place, Alicia Zoe, the 13-year-old, yes, 13, was on beam. So we'll take you back to that now.
Beautiful. So well done. She's got great toes, great extended legs. Those knees are so locked. What the judges are looking for anytime they're doing a leap is they're looking for a complete 180-degree split.
And great routine, you know, and just really super poised, calm. And
Yeah.
that's tough to do, especially as a junior.
Yeah, 13 years old, but she's been competing for years and years already.
So the young teenager from San Antonio, that was a short time ago, 9.650 and into first place in the junior meet here.
Very impressive, very impressive.
Come on, Danny.
Two champions crowned tonight here in Indianapolis.
Come on.
As we continue over on floor, and once again, Madeline Dorbin, the 14-year-old from Georgia. Eighth grader who says her biggest dream is to receive a scholarship, compete in college.
Well, I'm betting that she probably will accomplish that.
Yep, good bet.
Yes.
Yeah, in a normal year when, of course, the audience is allowed to be here, competitions like this or a level 10 national championships, you would see dozens of college head and assistant coaches looking towards that next generation,
Yeah,
seeing who they could sign.
You're right, they would all be here, there's no question.
You know, one of my main reasons for creating this entire series and cup was to try to get that next generation out there and give them that experience under the bright lights, and she surely is part of this next generation.
Mission accomplished for you, Nastia.
Oh, thank you.
National exposure here for these juniors. Madeline Dorbin, the 14-year-old from Georgia, and Alicia Zoe, who we just saw, is only 13 years of age from San Antonio, but leads the way in the junior division. Back to tell you, the NHL is on NBC. Boston Bruins take on the New York Rangers. Sunday comes your way, 12 Eastern on NBC. A little warmer than it's been in recent days here in Indianapolis. Snow is starting to melt. And back to the third rotation. Amari Celestine ready to go on beam. It's been a good one, always tight, but got Leah Smith with a lead of about 0.6 of a point.
Yeah,
now.
That's a very big number. Hard to overcome that, but
Morgan Price, Jocelyn Moore sharing second for the moment, at least. And Alicia Zoe leading the way on the junior level.
This concludes the warm-up and competition resumes with the second half of rotation 3.
9.75 the number for Madeline Dorban, who we saw on floor right before we went to commercial break. Here we go.
And now on B for Seika, Amari Celestine.
Very tricky skill called a wolf turn. Some people, I believe Nastia, it's not her favorite.
Damn, I wasn't going to say anything this time. Great backhand handspring layout. You know, you have to wonder in a moment like this when, especially you're on the balance beam and you're that much ahead of the rest of the field, is she aware of that, right? Does she know that where she stands?
Oh boy, hold on. Gorgeous side aerial there. I love one thing in her bio. It says, I get to be myself and let go of all the troubles I have outside of the gym when I'm in the gym. Very cool.
Once again, really just trying to go for that stick. Hard to do when you can't eye the ground.
So this is that wolf turn. Many gymnasts will do this 2 revolutions and even 3.
And here's that front flip where she struggled a little bit. You see, look at her heel. It was really just hanging on by her toes there. And that dismount once again. So she's landing to her back is to the beam. So really just tough to spot the landing.
And you know, the thing about that is she really only needed to take one step. She took a step back and then she moved the other leg to put it together. If she had stopped and moved that first leg forward again, would have been only 1/10 off for that landing.
Head over to the 17-year-old from Ohio, Tori Vetter.
Up next on the even bars for Twin City Twisters will be Olivia Orengo, followed by Desert Lights gymnast Alex Theodoro.
Nice job, very clean. I loved her run. You know, she some athletes just don't always get the speed that they can generate. That was good.
Just saw that effort on beam for Amari Celestine, 9.375. And now on beam in 4th after the second rotation, so right in the thick of things, 16-year-old Nikki Smith.
Oh no. Good fight though.
Good.
Almost grabbed the beam, which.
So that was almost somewhat of a veteran move because she knew, of course, if she would have touched her hands to the beam, it would have been an additional deduction. But one of the most important qualities, I would have to say, is fighting for every single skill. Just like she did there, it is so easy to just kind of give up and jump off, and it's what coaches teach you all the time, even in training. If you're a little bit off, don't just tell yourself it's just practice or just training, because that is gonna stick in your head, and when you get to competition, that might be the instinct.
Every gymnastics gym you'll hear the coaches fight, fight, fight. And it's a critical component.
Great dismount, and that's exactly what she did. That was a great fight. So let's take a look here. So it's a back handspring back layout. So watch right here. She lifts one leg, and you see her hands almost go to reach the beam, and she like really just moves them back very quickly because she doesn't want to have any more deduction than she already did right there.
She was way off in the air. That's amazing. She stayed on.
Get the number in a moment for that. 9.425 for Tori Vetter, first vault. So we take you over to bars, and Alex Theodoro in second after the second rotation.
Great handstand. Another one to a release. Very nicely done.
Another beautiful one. Wow.
Yeah. Watch this one though. Awesome. Puts this to her feet. This should get a very, very good score. Tell me where the deductions are. Wow.
They'll find something, but actually.
Most likely they will, but that was one of the cleanest bar routines we've seen all day. I think I believe like a 9.825 at one point in time, but that was pretty error-free.
Yeah, Leah Smith had the top number over there. Who's the overall leader, at least for the moment.
So here's that release move that we see right there. And then it's the handstands for me. Just right on top of the bar. Perfect position. Another one right there.
And this one's hard. Bam.
Really good.
So what are you giving this, Nastia?
I don't know. I feel like the judges kind of have been a little all over.
Yeah, a little bit. A little tight at times, but
definitely above a 9.5, I would have to say.
Oh golly, I
and
hope
if
so.
Not,
he's thinking 9.8 territory, right?
I am actually. You know, if we've seen a 9.825 like we said.
Let's go.
Nikki Smith, who was 10th in the all-around in Milwaukee in the Liukin Cup last year. 9.425 the number.
Let's go, Avery. Come on. Let's go.
We wait for that number for Theodoro. Take you over to Morea Linker, 15th after the second rotation. The 18-year-old from Odessa, Florida.
Very nicely done.
Once again, that more difficult vault. So a Yurchenko 1.5 twist, a blind landing as we've seen on the balance beam, a lot harder to stick, but also a higher starting value.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm wrong again. Look at that, 9.625.
Basically, the judges averaged, you know, both of us.
Yeah, you're right. They heard you. So in 18th after the second rotation, the 15-year-old from San Diego, Chloe LeCourcier.
Great lines, wow, just goes to a perfect point, her toes.
Really just seems like the whole entire routine, every element flows so effortlessly. Great.
Another great bar routine.
You know, there's something to be said about someone setting the tone for, you know, the beginning of that rotation. Doesn't always happen, but you'd like to think that, you know, one hit routine after another, the energy's there.
That was pretty good, right? I mean,
beautiful.
Yeah.
15 years of age, born in Salt Lake City, now training in San Diego, Coastal Gymnastics Academy there. Morea Linker, that first vault we saw, 9.6 the number.
Blocked it here sooner would have been the perfect fit.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You had a lot of energy. It was really good. Nice job.
And now to floor. In 10th after the second rotation, Kylie Cohen, 16 years of age from Fort Worth, Texas.
I'll tell you, when you consider what this year has been, the athletes look fantastic. Honestly, you know, there have been so many struggles for everybody in their lives, but many athletes locked out of their gyms for months at a time when they are used to never even taking a day off. So it's very impressive to see. I believe her foot stepped onto the white, which will be a 1/10 of a point. I did not see a flag raised, though. Wow, 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 that was unbelievable. Fantastic tumbling and just so playful choreography and done so well. That is the full package right there.
1, 2, 3, 4 wows.
Lots of wows,
Four.
but add a fifth one because they got a wow from me too.
Okay, I'll put one in there too then.
That was great.
You know, Mike, as of right now, was probably one of my favorite routines of the entire competition.
Yeah, piked full in at the beginning, and you know, really, some athletes, when you tumble that hard, you kind of hold back in the choreography. Not her. Very difficult, laid out front, and this is really the only place right there. Those
and you know,
toes.
she might have just got lucky. The line judge maybe didn't see it. We'll have to see when the scores come up. But here's that last tumbling pass, a whip to a 2.5. Just, Tim, I think, I don't have anything else to say because it was just spectacular.
The Corsier 9.8 on uneven bars. How about that number? We roll on from Indianapolis. We welcome you back inside the Indiana Convention Center here, and the Nastia Liukin Cup continues. Terry Gannon back with the Olympic champs, Nastia Liukin and Tim Daggett. I get the sense from your commentary, your excitement, this is even better than expected, especially this season with what they've dealt with.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, a tough year all around, but that floor routine for me that we just saw might have been the highlight.
Yeah, but for me, it's all about all of the routines. Every gymnast we're seeing, I am shocked at how well they have dealt with this pandemic. The missing the training, they look fantastic. Way better than I thought they would.
Think about being out of competition for this long. I know they had to qualify for this, but this is a whole different level, and not only the training and all the obstacles there, but also lack of competition. Very good as we head to the 4th rotation here in Indianapolis. One more rotation to go here at the 2021 Nastia Liukin Cup. Leah Smith still with the lead, but how about this, guys? It's gotten tighter. 1/10 of a point over Alex Theodoro, and Lily Hudson is in 3rd.
This is all, it always happens.
Every year.
It's down to the wire.
What was it, 6/10 of a point, right?
It was, yes. So she gained a whole 1/2 of a point.
And here's the leader in the junior division, Alicia Zoe, the 13-year-old from San Antonio.
But it is tight on the junior side as well. Only a 1/10 of a point separating her from 2nd place.
top floor exercise.
Very nice. I love her demeanor. It seems, once again, we said it when she was on beam, but it just looks so calm.
Taking care of business. Go out there and do your job.
She's here. She's on a mission.
Yep. And no honk. Not even really out of breath right now.
No. Difficult first tumbling run, a front handspring into a laid out somersault with 2 complete twists around.
And here's that last tumbling pass. 1.5 to a front layout. Hop on the landing. So, you know, as we keep mentioning though, every 10th matters, those landings. Looking at the results in the last few years, really, always coming down so close.
December 8th, 2007, her birthday. Make you feel old?
Yes.
That was a big number.
That was a big number. So, work to do for Mackenzie Estep, the 14-year-old now from Washington.
Good fight there.
You know, great routine, just every single landing almost seemed a little unsure of herself. Needed to trust those landings a little bit more.
Yes, absolutely. I would say so. First tumbling pass was great. Nice height. Double somersault, and she'll do it in what's called a piked position. So her legs are straight and her hips are bent. Big step back, but it's only one step, so pretty good.
But this next tumbling pass is where she struggled just a little bit. So almost she was too high on that first skill and immediately had to go into that front layout. But as you mentioned, Tim, really great fight. And here's that closing tumbling pass, double back. And you see her chest is just a little bit too low there, hops back.
So 9.325. Needed about 9.8 and change to catch Alicia Zoe. Mackenzie Estep from a family of athletes. As we go from floor over to beam right now. CJ Konecki, the 14-year-old from Denver, underway.
In second position after 3 events, just a 1/10 of a point back. Oh, big fight there. Loved the positions in the air though, just
You know, I have to say though, all across the board, I've just really loved seeing all of these athletes out there, whether they have a small mistake or are almost off the event, every single person is fighting to stay on the beam or get that landing, or whatever it is. It's just so nice to see, and I know we've talked about it really all afternoon, but in a year like this when they have just been out of training for so long, so many of them, it's so mental, right? Physically, of course, that was tough for them being out of the gym, but mentally it's really hard to get your mind back into that competition zone.
Second appearance at the Nastia Liukin Cup for CJ. It's 2019 in Greensboro. She was last at this event.
This tumbling sequence is gorgeous in the air, but it's not just beautiful, it's gritty right here. No way am I coming off that beam. Great stuff.
The other thing we talked about was being different and unique, and right here, the dismount, a side aerial into a back layout with a full twist. Don't think we've seen that here today yet, but we've seen this element, the side aerial, of course, done in the middle of the beam, but immediately into that dismount.
So 9.375 for CJ Konecki.
Just really gave away a lot on that flip-flop step out, layout, step out.
Good race in both the junior and senior divisions here for the top spots. Alicia Zoe, the leader for the juniors throughout. Lexi Zeiss in fourth after 3 rotations. Will be next to go on vault. And obviously, we see this every competition, but as an athlete, you deal with it the order in which you go. And your favorite apparatus, your favorite event, it comes down to that 4th rotation. You take stock of the leaderboard and you say, either I have a great chance or, uh-oh, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you absolutely know. And, I think for a lot of athletes, ending, say, on vault, it might be the least nerve-wracking. In my opinion, at least, ending on the balance beam, especially when you are in the lead or, you have that chance. It definitely adds a little bit more pressure.
There's a recurring theme in your comments, aversion to the beam.
So she's taking a look at the number. They have to flash the vault that you're going to perform. And a lot of gymnasts and many coaches don't know what the number is, and that number shows up in the rule book, the code of points. Very silly rule. I mean, there you see it, that's the vault that she's going to perform. Because the judges have to do it on the fly for 8 skills in a row on every piece of apparatus, but you got to tell them what you're going to do on the thing you're only doing 1 skill. Silly, antiquated, should go away.
I'll write that down.
I was going to say, let's tell them how you feel, Tim.
Oh, baby. Gonna be a big number. Wow.
She knows it.
And so remember, that vault right there doesn't start out of a 10. 10.1 rocks the landing. This could be the biggest score of the night, potentially.
It's got to be.
So we'll get that number in a moment. Meanwhile, Nikki Smith in 5th place heading into this final rotation on floor.
good energy, great tumbling.
Gymnasts competing in the second half of rotation 4.
So we'll check that number, but we saw Lexi Zeiss with a terrific effort on vault. 9.7, what do you think?
Oh, God.
No words.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
Come on, judges.
Into first place for the moment, but remember Leah Smith still to go here in the final rotation. She'll be on floor. So we come right down to the wire here in both the senior and junior divisions of the Nastia Liukin Cup in Indianapolis. Just saw Nikki Smith on floor, 9.725, so that gets her up into second place. It's Lexi Zeiss who still leads the way, but Leah Smith still to come, who's led throughout. Alex Theodoro in second after that third rotation, just about ready on balance beam. Your nightmare.
Was this like, because every gymnast has nightmares
Yeah,
about competing. It wasn't beam for you.
No, it was bars. You know, bars
Your best
was
event.
Yeah, exactly. Bars was always my strongest event, so I knew that
Felt the
I wanted
pressure.
any chance. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry for categorically saying it was your best event, but I thought it was.
Well, thank you. Wait, beam?
No, bars.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
You were great on beam,
yeah.
too.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're pretty good everywhere,
Well,
from what I
thanks,
remember.
Tim.
She would, Mutual Admiration Society.
Yeah. But we're 6 feet apart, you know, so it's...
All right, here we go. Very nice. Very interesting illusion turn. Really cool. A lot of variety in this competition. When you see that illusion, what does it remind you of? Chelsea Memo, right?
absolutely.
Who is making a comeback
Comeback
now.
on the way, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give her that for a stick, right? That same combination we saw earlier, that side aerial to a back with a full.
What a great day for her.
She would need 9.53 to take the lead.
You know, I think actually I'm not even going to think or bet on the judges now, but I was going to say I think that is certainly possible for her in this routine.
So this is really cool. It's called an illusion turn, and Chelsea Memo on the Instagram been checking it out and does some cool combinations with that as well. Oh, God, love that right there. I don't even know what you call that.
You know, and front toss, I guess.
I guess,
don't know.
yeah, right.
In a pike position, and I was just about to say it's really tough to also keep your knees straight all the way around. And here's another one of those dismounts, the side aerial back full. Tim, you said you would give her that stick.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
Whoa.
There you go, 9.625. How
There
about
we go.
that? So Alex Theodoro into first place right now, ahead of Lexi Zeiss and Nikki Smith. And by the way, I think Daggett's becoming the social media maven. We got
Literally.
TikTok, we got
TikTok,
Instagram, all of that stuff.
What have I had to do?
This is what quarantine has done.
So Lily Hudson saw where she was after that third rotation, the 18-year-old from Fleming Island, Florida.
The second ball for Kylie Cohen of Empire, followed by Wogan's Sloan Quigley. Now on floor exercise for Florida.
You designed the leotards, right, Nastia?
I do.
Very cool. I like the on the back. That's new, right? The Nastia
Yeah.
cup on the back.
I always try to
very
do
sharp.
something a little different every year.
Lily Hudson of Florida Elite on floor exercise.
So a senior in high school heading to the University of Alabama and dreaming about winning a national championship there. Lily Hudson. Going to be decided on floor, guys, because the last athlete up there, Leah Smith.
Great stuff, absolutely. So she's got an extra mat in there, but that's allowed. Combination tumbling run, laid out front, and then a layout with 2 twists, and you call that a perfect landing.
Tim's getting different words now for his sticks. And here's that final tumbling pass, double back. So again, looking for where her chest and shoulders are on the landing, a step back. But you know, talking to them earlier today, it was hard listening to some of them because, of course, it being their senior year in high school, not exactly the last year of their high school life that they were expecting or ever even thinking that would ever happen. But at least they were able to end it here.
Feel that way even for non-athletes. I mean, it's just, you can't get those years back. It's sad. Hudson, by the way, into second place. Miranda Smith in 17th, going into the final rotation. Ready now.
Well, that had some amazing tumbling in it. Grateful in at the start, just really tough stuff. The whip to a triple twist.
Once again, as we were talking about taking that risk on the balance beam, she did that right here. The triple twist probably not quite all the way rotated around, chest low, but again, going for it.
Thank you.
So we'll get her number in a moment, but it does come down to Leah Smith, who has been leading pretty much throughout, started great, and had the lead right now, 9.525 from the lead.
I don't know, maybe hanging out at with the greatest gymnast in the world.
Might help.
Might be rubbing off a little bit here.
Comes down to this for the win.
Wow. The judges and I have not been on the same page today, but I can't imagine if that is not enough for her to grab a Nastia Liukin Cup title. What do you think?
I don't even know what to say at this point.
Yeah.
I'm with you, but I would have to agree. In my books, that routine was enough to win the title.
Oh my God.
And remember the number, 9.525 is what she would need.
Which is extremely doable. She's scored much higher than that many, many, many times in her career. It was sky-high tumbling, beautiful lines, just a tremendous routine.
Alex Theodoro is the leader right now, ahead by 9.525. But if she were to get that number, Leah, she would win because she would break the tiebreaker. There it is, 9.775.
Yes, they got that one right.
Finally.
So congratulations to Leah. Congratulations to the judges. It's Leah Smith who wins the Nastia Liukin Cup here in Indianapolis. Back to wrap things up in a moment. So it did come down to the wire here, as it normally does in the Nastia Liukin Cup. It's Leah Smith who is the champ here in 2021. Alex Theodoro was sensational. Lily Hudson as well, rounding out the top three. And Lexi Zeiss, that effort on vault in that final rotation was great. But Leah Smith, guys, you come in, you win, and she joins us right now. And Leah, congratulations. With the year that we've had, with the restrictions on training, competition, everything else, what do you take away from this win here in Indianapolis? Working out the audio right now, having some problems with that. But guys, before we work that out, I'll ask you, how impressive was what we just saw here?
Oh, it was fantastic. Unbelievable. From a tremendous amount of athletes after this year, this crazy year, it has been, you know, we just saw wonderful gymnastics from start to finish.
And it always comes down to so close in this thing.
Always. But you know what? I'm just so proud of all these athletes. And I know that from start to finish, that's all we talked about, right? Was the year that we've all had. Yeah. But really for all of these athletes going through this, just like everybody else in the world, but to come out here on the competition floor and perform like they did under pressure, under the bright lights, and in my opinion, they were just all spectacular.
Yeah, terrific. And I believe we have the audio issues worked out. Leah, can you hear us now?
Is it on now?
Yeah, there we go.
You're on,
we
girl.
can hear you. Hey, I just want to ask you, and Tim and Nastia just talked about how impressive that win was, especially given the year we've had and the restrictions on training, everything else. What do you take away from this victory here? Well, I believe we're 0 for 2 at this point, audio-wise.
Frustrated. I so badly wanted to ask her what it's like to train in the same gym of the GOAT, you know? So I don't know if she's hearing that. Maybe she can come over and tell us at the end of the meet.
That's got to factor into it, though, going to work every day and training alongside Simone Biles. How about Alicia Zoe and how impressive she was, too, and how young she is to come here and win the junior division title?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I know they're obviously two different categories, the juniors and the seniors, but the routines are all the same, essentially, right? They're all competing out there doing the same events under the same scoring system and everything. So really to win the juniors in my books is just as impressive as winning the seniors, and just what a great competition.
And made it look like just going to work and ho-hum. This is what I do. I win championships.
Absolutely.
So Leah Smith, the winner of the senior division. Alicia Zoe, the winner of the junior level. By the way, the Winter Cup continues. The men's competition later tonight on NBCSN. And tomorrow, Olympic champ Lori Hernandez in action, returning to action after more than 4 years away. Women's event starts at 12:30 Eastern on NBC. For Nastia Liukin, Tim Daggett, and our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm Terry Gannon saying so long from Indianapolis and the Liukin Cup.